Hello YouTubers, Philip here, and welcome to another weekly Rant episode. I am joined by my two co-commentators, Bob, Baseball Lover Bobson, and Julian TheChudude Chew. How are you guys doing today?
Hi.
Hi.
Exactly. Last episode I said it's good to feel high, and I second that still, but not with the
I want to
GH
make a
behind
memes
it.
out of that.
So I'll make a shirt. I'll make a shirt at some point. I have to buy that because that's a pretty funny episode. If you,
I'll put that on my automatic buy list.
if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the intro of last week's episode. But there are some very interesting topics to talk about today because Cyanide answered an interview, or at least had an interview with PCM Daily's, I think it was sports nonsense, or was the crew true? I'm not quite certain. But yeah,
Ooh,
they said
I can put that up.
okay, but they said some very interesting things. It's all actually regarding the beta, which some of us was involved in. I was involved in it. Cheetah was involved in it. I don't believe Baseball was involved in it, but
No.
I think we're allowed to discuss these things now, because they basically said every feature that was in the beta. So we're gonna discuss our opinions on what they're actually saying. So first of all, they have changed some things in the career mode, which they said they spent most of their efforts into actually doing something this year, and it's been the community's main priority to get something fixed in. So first of all, they have now added equipment, which is not a big surprise because it's been in the other year's editions, but they're now making it like you have to level it up in some sort. Like in the start of the year, you choose your sponsor, and then you choose to level up your wheels, your steer, your bars and everything, your handlebars, over a certain amount of time, and then you get better and better. What are you guys' overall opinion of this new change to the game? You can start, you dude.
Well, I did have a look at the equipment during the beta. It was very, very confusing. Had a bit of bugs in that as well. So I don't know how smoothly it'll run the first year they implement it. Certainly, I don't see it making. It will make a change, but it won't make a big change in the gameplay per se. But I guess it targets the audience to have more longevity in the career mode, so they want to keep improving their equipment or something like that. Um, but generally, when we've been playing, we just get like a update or something that will just unlock all the equipment and get some nice ones for us. So yeah, that could happen again this year. Maybe it'll be nice maybe if they put like real sponsors in it, real sponsor names and frame names or whatever, and we can upgrade that. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah. So I don't know, 50% on it. I'm not sold on it yet, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, what your opinion, Baseball Lover?
Well, in the past years, there's been plenty of tests on PCM Daily. S then wrote the article. There have been plenty of tests, and
Oh,
it always comes out to
take a
conclusion.
break real quick and let your Wi-Fi settle down, and then go ahead and try again now.
There have been plenty of tests on PCM Daily, at least, that conclude that there's actually no difference in the level of equipment, like the stars and stuff. Plus, I can't see PCM Daily putting that in their database. And as we know, they would never put actual sponsor equipment names in the game because that would cost money and it's kind of useless. So yeah, it's not gonna make a difference.
It's
I don't
true.
really think.
Also, I was in the beta, so I can officially say that I didn't feel any difference whatsoever. I mean, it's riding with a half-star handlebars and half-star wheels and all that stuff. Didn't feel like it made a difference. It adds to how can you say this, like the presentation part of the game, because it's like if you make a career mode realistically, you can be like, oh, I got my official first ever sponsorship with Savelo. Next year I'll move on to Scottsdale or whatever what's your I don't even know bike brands at all really. So it adds to the presentation part, which I enjoy as a commentator and as a YouTuber, but to the actual gameplay it doesn't do much, and all it does, it adds some aesthetics to the game, and it's
Exactly.
needed. It's needed, but I mean, could have focused somewhere else. Another thing they were talking about is, or at least it's been a big complaint of the community for the last couple of years, is the transfers in this game is just unrealistic. In France's career mode with Calico, Contador, Froome, and Nibali are all in Astana after the first season. That makes zero sense. And this is one of the points where Cyanide says, we're going to try to fix this. So they put some emphasis on making realistic transfers. And also they've added some options in the transfer section and the salary section. What is your opinion on this, Baseball Hour?
Now this is something I can get behind. Now, as you said before that they didn't put that in the beta. and so we don't really know what it's going to be like. I can only imagine it's going to be extremely buggy, and we won't get the patches until October. But at least they're attempting to make one part of the game that has always been extremely lacking and would be one of the most fun parts of the game for me if it were to work better. And so I'm very excited to see how this ends up. If we could stop getting like Bradley Wiggins goes to Cantabrixia or something. That happened to me in PCM 11 when he was 81 mountain. So it was kind of weird. You get riders going everywhere. Like Andy Schleck went to Euskaltel. It's just if they can fix that, plus make the transfers a little more interesting, a little more varied, but realistic, like varied in the tools you use to like get the transfers done. I would definitely be very behind that, and I'm very excited to see how that turns out.
Yep. What's your opinion, TheChudude?
For me, what defines a realistic transfer? Because at the end of the day, this is a game, and how do you really get a realistic
That's true.
transfer out of it? Like, is it normal for Froome to leave and go to I don't know, a team that's big or a team that's not big? They can't really predict the future. That's always tough. So for
But for
them saying that,
instance, like you can't have Froome going to like, you know, Caja Rural. That wouldn't make any sense.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think what they're trying, like what their emphasis is on, that teams with like a British nationality will go for British riders. I think that's what they mean with realistic transfers. So teams go for their own country. Like
Hmm.
it's like when Oleg Tinkov took over Tinkov Saxo Bank, the first thing he did was to get Ivan Rovny and whoever the
Future
other
star.
guy was. I don't even know. I mean, that's realistic transfers in their opinion, or at least that's what I think. But this part is not, was not in the beta, so I do not have any opinion on or any experience with this. But and I don't even play Korea that much, so it's not one that influences me. But it's nice to see that they're actually doing something, because I have seen some weird transfers and they don't make any sense whatsoever. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I do have had experience with that I also made some bug reports to sign out with was the tutorials, because they've been trying to help out newcomers, because some of the hate this game has gotten in the past is that, oh, this game makes zero sense. Why are you controlling one or 8 riders when you only should be controlling one? How do you attack? Why do you sprint? Why do they lose energy? Well, now they made a tutorial, and it's like it tells you that, oh, you're now manager of Vanti Gobert. You have these riders on this page. You can do this on this page. You attack by this. You relay by pressing that button. So now they're trying to help new guys, but they also have an advanced tutorial for experienced guys that want to know the new features. What do you think about this, TheChudude?
I really like this. I mean, as much as it sounds like it's not going to make a big difference for us, and probably it won't make a difference for most of our viewers here, but the thing is, this game needs to grow as well, and at the end of the day, we have to inform newcomers on how to play this, because I'm sure when a lot of you guys were new to this game, you guys were just like, wow, what's all this? And I was so close to uninstalling this game as well when I got it, because I just didn't know what was going on until I watched some YouTube videos. And then when you do have YouTube videos, many of the people who do it and get the most views and most popped up are the guys that don't even know how to play the game and have like a first impression of it, and they like sit there and just not know what's going on and make it like a bad spectacle out of the game. And
Are
that
you speaking
also
about someone in particular? Because when you search for Pro Cycling Manager 2013, one first impression video comes up, and I know who that's from.
no, not that.
Stop the nerd leader.
No, it's actually my video that comes up. Well, it was for a long time. There's probably his video
No,
now.
Yeah,
if
it
you
was.
search Pro Cycling Manager, it's the nerd guy, and he's just like,
Aww.
Yeah.
kill everyone.
My video was
Oh,
the one
this
that
game
came up.
sucks.
Like, before that video was out, it was my video that came up, actually. With 36,000 views, so... It's a proud
Yeah,
moment.
but well, you really can't have those guys as a person to determine if someone can buy a game to buy a PCM or not, because that doesn't really work, because they don't actually know how to play the game, and it makes the game look bad as well. So having a tutorial will really make sense in terms of making the game bigger and easier for newcomers, and I like that certainly, because this game definitely needs to get bigger.
I kind of hope, before I turn this over to Baseball, I hope they make an in-game tutorials. Like, what they make is a tutorial level. It's called, like, from A to point B. and they're like, so here you can see that there's how many kilometers left. Oh, here you can see all the buttons and all the commands you can give your riders. Oh, here you can see how much effort he has left. And this bar determines how long he can relay. And like, if you press attack now, he attacks and then like freezes down and says, oh, are you paying attention to the red bar? But you should, because he's attacking and he's using it. Something like that. That just gives people the basic knowledge of the game before they actually do anything in the game. I think it makes such a big difference.
You should do the tutorial, Failure. You got this all planned out.
Well, I don't think Sign would use it though, but sure. I'm planning on, as soon as PCM 14 comes down, all the cheap videos with how to sprint, how to climb, how to relay, how to pick up bottles. They're coming out. Those are the videos.
How to pick up bottles. Press a bottle button.
It's like a 5-second video. But yeah.
No. First you have to click on Lars Boom.
Exactly. But that's the kind of videos that's actually needed. Some people find them cheap, but people don't understand that some people actually search for these videos. These are the videos that gets the most amount of searches for. So
yeah.
So what do you think, Baseball Lover, about this tutorial?
Oh, well, when you first told me, I was kind of like, wow, really? They're going that? But now I understand. Like, the people that would usually be going like, ew, cycling, that's a team sport since when? Ew. Like, what the hell? Wow, that guy, they're just riding bikes, ha ha ha. Now they have some kind of direction, and they kind of can't use that excuse anymore. And I think that will help new people get into cycling overall and get into the game so they can actually kind of understand it without just giving it like judgments because that's what society thinks. And obviously the way I have been thinking is that you don't need to use the tutorials, right?
Not really.
Yeah, you don't need to. So
You
like
can skip them. You can like cancel. But
yeah, so
it's like, if you ever play Football Manager, have you ever done that?
no.
Okay, but when you play Football Manager, the first thing that comes up when you start a new career is, this is Football Manager Helper. I will be helping you out for the entire game. Would you like me to give you tips as you progress on in your career, or would you like me to shut the F up? And then you have two options. And you pick one of them, which I always do, and you can guess which one that is. But
Shut the F up.
yeah, because I'm experienced in Football Manager, and so am I in Pro Cycling Manager. But those are needed. When I first started playing Football Manager, I had no clue what I was doing. It's so complicated, and I imagine it's the same with Pro Cycling Manager. So, and I'm kind of interested to see the advanced tutorial, because I consider myself an advanced player. How can this help me? Like, is there actually something I don't understand about this game? Probably everything. But on to the next one, another change, which is a very good one for me in particular, because it's going to help me with a lot of seriousness. So, I will quote this. The main change here relates to an automatic mode, where it seems that you can let the AI take control over part of your team. I can tell it can take part of the entire team. Like, where I have the mouse right now, there's an automatic button, or it's called auto. It's like a red collar, and you can the AI takes control of your team. This is very good for me in particular, because when I do MLC, this means that there's another team that can join, because I can just put them all on auto, and we can see how they behave. And how they behave, that's a good thing. I want to do a little show next year. You can steal this idea if you want to, I'm just giving it out there, free form.
Stealing it right now. Okay, let me type it.
I want to make
Hold
like...
on, I gotta
notepad.
type it. I gotta type it first.
Okay. But it's like observing the AI in their natural environment. And be like something like that, and have a green screen, and you'd be like walking among them, and it's like the AI controlling. It's like, oh, the AI... Oh, you actually type A down, that's funny. But you'd be like, oh, the AI attacks here, and that's how the AI works. And you can go in and like analyze the MLC. You can go even more in depth with this. Also, like the man game on PCM Daily will use so much help with this, because you can analyze how the AI actually utilizes your riders. What do you think about this, Baseball Lover?
Hold on.
When you're done typing.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly something that I would use, but I can understand its worth. Like, also, if you were testing, like, well, of course, there's the story of VN that a code told me, who he started analyzing things and telling other people about it, and then he got banned from the game. So that's a little stupid. Anyway, I don't know if I would use this sort of thing. I mean, you could, if you were like wanting to simulate a stage, you're like, I don't know how to play this stage. Let me see what would be effective in an actual 3D race. Like, you could test that out. That's kind of like a self-made tutorial. That's pretty cool. Plus, always good to have another MLC team when things get so close about who gets in or not.
Definitely. What do you think, TheChudude?
Well, for Cyanide to put this out, they said that using this auto feature, I guess they think it will help improve the game. I don't know about that. They said that a lot of people can't control 9 riders at once, and I totally
That's
disagree
not
with
true.
that.
Okay, that's not true.
It's
You
it's
can
not
pause. You
yeah,
can pause the game.
But what about a mountain
exactly.
stage? I would use this feature on a mountain stage because on a mountain stage I only control 2 guys, my
Yeah, but
protector and my captain.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
thing
well, you don't
is,
want
like,
you can self make those guys get out of the way. Then, if you put them on automated, they'll be like, "Hey, I'm going for GC lead today. Cool," and then they'll be like riding in front of your guy and be like, "Oh crap, I actually can't. I'm gonna crack now right in front of my leader."
That might be true.
yeah, it won't help me for sure. I'll probably never use it. Like you wouldn't see me using it, but I can understand it will definitely help some other people. So, if they want to put the effort in, I guess so. Do it. Do whatever you feel like it, but it's not going to help much people. The majority of the
Yep.
people, I see.
I can tell
Yeah.
you, I was so ecstatic. Like this was probably my favorite feature that they added to the game. I went in and I simulated 21 stages of the Tour de France controlling AG2R because I thought like, oh, they're French. Probably the AI is gonna work better with them. So I just put it on auto and see how they did. And Jean-Christophe Pirou got like 5th place for me. And I like, so he attacks here and he relays? Like, did you know up a mountain, the AI uses the relay button instead of the dot button? Like stuff like this that you don't actually think about, but it's something you have to take in consideration when you do stuff. But it's definitely going to help me in the future. So it's a great addition to the game, in my opinion.
Wait. Did you sit for 21 stages on automatic mode?
Automatic mode 21. Yeah, 100%.
One.
That was how glad I was to see that. I mean, that feature is gonna, it opens up an entire world to me of possibilities. All I do
X1.
is all I do is just let the AI control. Like when I do MLC, I don't do anything. That's a wasted team. I have another team in there. When I wanna do pre-MLC, I'm like, you know how I did the 15 simulations and the infographics? Well, that's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty awesome when I can just have the AI do like, oh, so you want a guy that can attack here and survive? Oh my god, this guy was doing pretty good for me and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you can basically test exactly what the AI wants the winning formula to be because the AI knows what the winning formula is. Now they may not be able to do it because of restriction with the stats, but they know exactly what the best placing of your rider will be.
Exactly. Like it's kind of like an. It sounds really nerdy, but like an algorithm. You can like set up like they need
Yeah.
this stat, this stat, this stat. They need to be this attacking. Like
Yeah,
they have some secret
gonna be
stats
amazing.
somewhere. Like some people are attacking. Like if they're above
The
78
science of
mountains, they
PCM.
attack. Yeah, you could totally do like a MythBuster in PCM. Like honestly, with these new features, you can get inside the mind of the AI. Imagine how.
Hey, Failure.
Yeah.
What could this ruin your MLC because what's it called? People going to test who can win it already, and then they're just going to select the rider who's going to win it, or
But no, it's not always the case because people can crash, right? Baseball lover. I think someone has.
I certainly agree that is a very distinct possibility, and your GC leader might want to help them.
It happens once in a while. Nothing you can do about that sort of stuff. I mean, when it
Yeah,
happens, it
nothing.
happens.
Absolutely nothing.
It's very funny.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but enough about that feature. So another feature they also talked about in the gameplay section is that you can now give a rider 2 orders at the same time, but you can set one in priority to the other. So you'll be like, okay, now you go get water, and then you relay in front for like 80 with 80 effort. What Cyanide doesn't know though is that you can already do that.
Yeah, you put them on relay, and then you tell them to get water, and they'll automatically go back to getting
Exactly.
water.
So that's kind of wasted effort. So they just added like some graphics into it. But I mean, whatever. It's a feature. It's a step in the right direction.
You could tell them to like. You could tell them to like. Actually, no, you can already do that. Yeah, it's completely useless.
It's not
You
com-
could tell them
I
to
like-
like get water and then attack, but why would you want to do that?
I guess the only way of looking at this is now you can now like you can see what they're going to do. Now you have to think about what was his
Yeah.
last like order.
I have to think. Like, did 5 seconds ago did I put him on relay?
Did I put him on attack then get water? Is he gonna attack again?
Also, there was a bug in PCM 11 where if you had him on protection and then you got him water, if you made him get water, then when he comes back, it'll still say he's protecting, but he actually wasn't.
It's still
I don't
the
know if
same
that's
here.
still a bug.
It's still I do it all the time. Cause it was like in Amarda when I started playing with Xenon when the game first came out, I thought they actually protected both the guys. So I'd be like, oh, it's a double protection.
yeah.
I'm a genius. And then it's like it's just a graphical
Everyone-
bug. He's not doing anything actually. So I had like
My-
3 guys protect my leader going up a mountain, and they was just not doing anything.
Dude, are we gonna talk about that awesome new stat that they added though?
Oh, later on, later on.
Okay.
It's still like it's further down the list. But
Okay.
the next topic, I guess, because there's not much to say about it, this was already in the game. But next topic is definitely the daily form. So they've now been emphasizing on that daily form has been revamped. Though the -5 to +5 is now gonna have a bigger influence on the game. So you can now expect like outsiders to actually have a chance of winning. Because as it stands right now in PCM, the guy with the highest amount of mountain is gonna win like 99% of the time. We also saw that in the Rising Stars with Fires. So
I
they,
don't like this.
yeah, they've been trying to like revamp the daily form system. What do you think about this, too, dude? We started with baseball over before, so we can start with you this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Well, the daily format doesn't have much effect now unless you're +5 and then -5. Other than that, it doesn't really have an effect. I can't see how they will sort of make it more effectful unless they boost up +5 might boost your stats up even more next year. That's the only thing I see them like. How can you have like a unknown rider win a mountain stage on a good form day? Do you make him
Wait, my
have
game
a
just
plus?
crashed.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay, so
But
we'll
do
just
you give him a?
wait. My game crashed. It's not recording. We'll just finish.
Okay.
I'll mob OBS. No, I can't render OBS. Guess I'll have to. We'll just. And that was a smaller hiccup. My computer is messing up real bad. The screen driver seems to be not working and hasn't been working for over a year now. So be on the lookout because I'm getting a new computer and this one is it's gonna survive a couple of years. Like this, my computer is 6 years old and it still runs decently, except for the screen driver.
With Vista even.
Oh, I know,
It's a
Vista.
miracle.
How can you not love Vista? But, by the way, guys, we're trying something new. This episode might go on like for 1.5 hours, so tell us what you like about this long video. Do you stay towards the end? Like, do you actually want to listen to us for 1.5 hours? Well, we're gonna try for this episode and we'll see what you guys think of it. So, where we left off, TheChudude was trying to speak about the daily form and how, like, an unknown rider could win a mountain stage and it's not realistic or something like that. Go on.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is a daily form rider. How does that work? Like normally we have a +5 and it doesn't tell you if it tells you it's +5, but we don't know if it's in mountains or hills or wherever. But for them saying day, because normally it doesn't make a difference when we have +5, it makes a very little difference. And if they say it's going to have more emphasis, are they going? Is a +5 stat going to be worth more? Is that going to be like give you +10 in mountains or something ridiculous? Or so I'm really not sure if a non-contender or a underdog wins a stage with a great form, that can matter. But it seems interesting that they say that if someone's sick on the day or something like that, that could make their form go down, which sounds
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, like if they thought of it well and make it well, it could be good.
I hope
I don't
so.
know.
Also,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
well, that's something that I would definitely like, but my one issue is what daily form used to do in PCM 11 and 12 before they integrated the new 1 to 5 form counter thing was have 5 points taken off or given to you or any amount, like you know how it used to be 50 to 100, like your form. 80 of it was
Oh yeah,
training and
yeah,
then the
yeah,
20,
yeah. I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
So that used to be affected. So it wasn't that big of a difference, but it could make a difference if you were +5 and you went from 88 to 93. That's a pretty big difference. But what I'm thinking here is this is not going to be good because instead of an outsider, outsiders don't straight up beat the best guys in real life. That's
Unless they're
not how they
doped.
win stages,
Unless they're
unless they're
doped.
doped. But then
Uh-huh.
they're not really outsiders anymore because they turn into Froome. So if I'm worried that it's gonna be like, well, who's an example? Van Bilsen, he's always an outsider. Van Bilsen is on this on the Alpe d'Huez, and he's got +5. Oh, he beats Contador. That's not how Van Bilsen would win. He wouldn't just beat Contador in real life. He would attack away. Maybe the group
100K
started
from the
stalling.
finish. Yeah.
None of the favorites wanted to attack, so a group got away of outsiders, and they'll sprint out to the finish. Like think outsiders attacking. Think stage 9 of the Tour last year with Fulsang and Martin. Like they didn't just straight up beat Contador and Quintana and Froome. They attacked, and the group let them get away because of the circumstances. I'm afraid that that's just not going to work in PCM.
That's true.
But
I see where you're coming from.
I think this could either work really well or they could really stuff this up. It's tough to say right now.
I feel like there's a patch coming in the future.
There's always a patch coming in the future. So yeah.
That's true.
Well, I know the next topic or the next part of this interview that you really enjoy and which you've also been trying to put through a lot of our minds, because we didn't know this, but you definitely knew this. The resistance stat has not been working throughout the entire game of PCM 13, but it seems to have been addressed, and for next year's game, it will be working. What influence will this have on the game, and how is this resistance stat supposed to work, Baseball Lover?
Well, the resistance set is supposed to work. Stamina controls how fast your green bar deteriorates. Red bar used to be controlled by acceleration, how fast that deteriorated, but they changed that to how fast you accelerate, which basically does the same thing but more realistic, because the faster you accelerate, the faster you go, but your red bar will deplete at the same speed, so you'll go farther with the same amount of red. So it's the exact opposite, but it's a little more realistic. What the yellow bar was supposed to do is fill in that last yellow, resistance I was supposed to fill in that, how fast your yellow deteriorates. The way the game works is it works by heartbeat. Your heartbeat controls everything. If your heartbeat is white, then you're not losing anything. If it's gray, then you're losing green. If it's yellow, then you are losing yellow. If it's orange, then you are using a lot of yellow and green and possibly red. And if it's red, you're using everything at rapid speed. That won't change. But what will change is how fast that does deteriorate. And that's a big thing on a mountain stage, how fast your yellow's deteriorating. If everybody's going the same pace, that could make a really, really big difference on a mountain stage. So I'm glad that they finally made this great new stat that was supposed to work every other year.
It's new, quote unquote new.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they're really trying to just pass it off as a new stat. I think this is a publicity stunt or something.
Well, they're known for doing their publicity stunt. I mean, actually, speaking of publicity stunts, I like their little preview, like their live stream of the new game with Sire Olafur in charge of that. The only issue I have with that is his English. Just as good as Fias's. So there are some things you will understand, and there's some things you will laugh about in the future, and there's definitely
Shots fired.
No, it's not even shots
Does
fired.
he maybe say maybe a lot?
Exactly. Yeah, there's. I mean, if they do such a thing again, make sure they at least have like a British guy or American guy, or at least someone that's pretty good in the English language to speak their case, because that was all I came there. When I watched the video back, I watched the entire video back. I just muted the video and just watched the video with music in the background. It's like, hey, that looks nice. I don't even know what he's saying, but probably wouldn't understand it either. So it's a good stunt though. I like the way they're going. They're trying to please the community more and more. It's a good job.
That's good.
But the next thing they mentioned in the interview is not something that I'm way too familiar with, but the stage editor has got a feature where you can now import climbs like the Mont Ventoux Alduez and the Angelero into a ZCTS file, which I have no clue what it does. Do you guys have any, like...
Okay, I have a clue. Unless Chew does.
Ah, no.
Okay, well, I vaguely worked with the stage editor a lot. I made a few stages in a couple of weeks with PCM 11, and I opened it up once. It hasn't really changed that much. I mean, there's some new things, but I wouldn't know about them. I kind of just made a few stages, and then I didn't realize how I could actually put them in the game, so I gave up. Now, what you can actually do is you can always get files that put the actual terrain of the Earth in that area. I think it's based on longitude and latitude. I don't really know. There's some kind of files for it. So you could actually already do that, like find where Alpe d'Huez is and put that in. Like, I guess you can put like climbs now in any, like you can make the terrain for a stage and then put an Alpe d'Huez on it or something, I guess. I mean, that's kind of cool, but not really realistic, which is the whole point. Like anybody that makes the daily DBs, that wouldn't work for them because they strive on trying to make it like an actual Tour de France route. And so if you were just like in, Malaysia and then Alpe d'Huez, that's not exactly something that anybody would use anyway. Maybe for fantasy stages.
That's true. But I mean,
Yeah.
I like that they're trying to do something with the stage editor, because I think they're realizing that most of the like quality in this game is coming through the community. So giving some more power to the community is going to improve the game. What do you think, TheChudude?
That's definitely true. I mean, most of this game is based from the community, and if they give us the keys to more of the things, more options, then obviously this game is going to be much better. And if they do, I mean, this stage feature, I'm not 100% sure on it because I don't know anything about it. It means like crap all to me, and probably for you guys, some of you guys as well. And as long as it helps the game, I'm all for it at the end of the day. So, yeah, I don't know too much about it.
It might be good for those. It's good for the community, that's for sure. But it's not. I mean, it doesn't influence me as much as the automatic feature for the AI. I mean, that's a whole
If
different league. It all comes down to how you play the game and how you want to play the game. But
if if I can make a super stage like a 600k stage with like Alpduez, Mod 2 and everything on it, that'll be fun.
True, like first one Monfon 2, second one Alpe d'Huez, third one Angleroo, like Zonkalon and
Swat to me.
but you'll be out of green if you rode that stage. You'll be out of green after like the second mountain.
Hey, you can always put Lance Armstrong in
that's
it.
true.
You still be out of green because I don't even think a dope lane Samsung would survive.
Or you could
that.
put you could put like 85 guy in it, like Sancho Van Bilsen or something.
Well, on to a more serious note, the final thing in this interview, which got me the most intrigued, because it hinted at a modding feature, because they're like, so, long-term plans, we know that we're not making much improvement, we're running out of ideas, we need the community and help, and we've explicitly stated in the past that we do not want to give out the source code, because then a game could be ripped off, and people could use our game, and we lose all our money, but it might be time to give out the source code and you guys can mod the game. They have been hinting at now you can ride cyclocross, which is really nice. I mean, I've opened my eyes for cyclocross. It's a great feature, but what they don't know is going to be the same as track in the beginning, and they haven't touched track since they released it. So, but going back to the more important feature,
True.
the modding. What kind of mods would you expect into this game? I know one for sure. That's like first person, like be a pro mod. I could see someone programming that. What could you see?
Yeah, that'd be great because we know that they're not going to put that in the game. They've said multiple times like this is a manager game. Even though I thought that that's the only thing that would make the console game worth getting, but I'm still
Yeah.
going to get it. So, yeah, I mean that does bring a lot of possibilities. The PCM daily community and other communities, I'm sure, are great with like databases and stuff. They've even like edited some code that we do have, like filters and stuff to make like strategy packs, like change up the things a little bit. With modding capabilities, I think we could get some pretty cool stuff.
What do you think we could
This
get you to? Now, what do you have in mind when I say modding in PCM? What do you think the community will bring?
I reckon maybe we can do faces. I don't know
That's already in the
You
game.
can
everything.
already do that.
That's already in the game.
Yeah, like this will be a really really good thing for us. Like as content makers, we can the more like variety we have, this will be awesome. And
Yeah.
I just can't wait for this to happen. If it does happen, I'll be over the ball about it. I won't be making anything because I'm not the tech guy, but I'm sure there's heaps of guys out there who are willing to make stuff. And maybe they can be like a DLC pack or something like that to make like more features and whatever. Like saying that makes it like really cool. And I don't know anything off the top of my head yet, but I know there's going to be good things to come.
One
Definitely,
thing I
I
have
can
seen, like the
imagine.
closest I've seen to a modding feature, is like the fantasy, like Disney World, Sonic, Sega,
Yeah.
whatever that is, database where you can like write Mario Kart and all that. The Fires did a video on.
Yeah, DB Comics.
That's the closest I've seen to a modding, and I gotta say that guy did a pretty good job when you think about what he has to work with, because PCM is
Yeah.
not the most mod-friendly game out there so far, so there is definitely some potential, and I really hope they realize that the community is way better doing everything, like, you could hire the community and they'd probably do a better game. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I said before to failure, I said, and if they gave us a chance to mod the game in a year, how many more years in advance this game would be in 1 year? So if they gave us the keys to mod the game for, to say, next year, we would be probably 5 or 10 years ahead of schedule of what the game would be like in 5 or 10 years time, I think.
We would be ahead of the programming team of Cyanide, and they wouldn't want that.
Well, all thanks to the nice community of 94,319 members in PCM Daily. What a great site. It's a site for spammers like Baseball Lover.
You know what? There are more spammers on there than me. I only have like 6,900 posts.
Well,
Wait.
that's another rant day. That's another rant day. We can go on. I can go on talking days upon days about how the system of PCM Daily is rigged. But okay, this is normally where the video would end. We'd be like, "Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Go check out these guys because they're amazing." Well, they're not. But yeah, they are amazing. But the video is not gonna end here today because we're gonna try to make this a bit longer and try to cover a bit more because it's a very interesting
There's
week.
tons of results to talk about too.
Exactly, it's the start of all the Flemish cycling classics, and the first one, it's not even a Flemish cycling classic, it was the Milano-San Remo. And what are your guys' overall opinion? Again, who surprised you, who disappointed you, who is to look out for in the upcoming classics? Baseball, if you can start with this one.
Well, the first thing I noticed was Sagan. Like, what happened to him? I mean, spoiler alert: Kristoff won. But Sagan, he was the favorite. Everybody was like, "It's gonna be Sagan. It's gonna be Sagan. It's gonna be Sagan. It's gonna be." No, it wasn't. Like, he didn't even factor in. He got a little boxed in on the right rail, and then he just stopped, gave up. I don't even know what was going through his head. He ends up 10th. That's just not okay. But Kristoff, very interesting for him. Also Ben Swift, did not expect him to be up there. I mean, he hasn't done anything in a while since the Sky GC team started doing things. So pretty good. Kenchalara not happy about it, but he's no sprinter and he didn't attack. So what does he want?
Exactly. What do you think, TheChudude? Who just surprised you the most of this race?
Well, the thing is, this stage, a lot of people like misread this stage because at this stage is a 300k stage. If a lot of people don't know, that has weird effects on riders. 300k's, it's not like your 150k's stage. So I don't know if people were expecting Sagan some people were expecting like sprint trains to form, and that
No, that doesn't happen.
in my mind that was never happening. A lot of people expected like your sprinters being it just because it wasn't hilly enough, but this is a 290k stage. It is whoever's got the strongest legs at the end of the day wins the sprint. So it's not going to be your quickest sprinter per se. So Cavendish was in there, but he didn't win because he didn't have the legs, and that made sense for me. Like I wasn't expecting big sprinters to win it simply because of how long the race is, and we didn't have groups teams. Like we had a group, that last group, and it wasn't one team dominated. It had like to say 2 or 3 riders from each team in it, so that made it really, really interesting. And for Cancellara not to win it, it was a surprise. Like he had a lot of wheels to follow. When you watch that sprint in replay, he had probably 5 wheels to pick from, and I think he picked the wrong one. He underestimated Kristoff. And going into the race, how many of you guys think Kristoff was going to win it? Like not many.
Honestly,
Nobody did.
I had a feeling. I was Baseball Lover. I said like the day before the Milan San Remo, I kind of want Kristoff on my Velo Games teams because I think he'll do good. And you're like, honestly, failure. What will he do in the cobblestones? He won't do anything in Milan San Remo. What will he do in cobblestones? Oh, I don't know. I won't pick him. And then he freaking goes on to win the Milan San Remo. I'm like, oh.
Well, honestly though, like if you had judged his prior results, no, he wasn't going to. Like
Sometimes you
he's
have to go
done
with your
decent.
gut feeling. Your gut feeling.
Well, but legitimately, nobody thought he was actually going to win it.
It's true.
Nobody was like, "I'm gonna bet on Kristoff because I know he's
Hey,
gonna
I
win."
said
Like,
that. I told
no,
Bailey.
you didn't.
I told Bailey that I was going to put $2 on him if I had the chance.
See, it's all good to look back at. Hindsight is 2020, like always.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Unlike
actually,
my
I want to say
eyesight.
that I was really surprised with Sonny Colbrelli from Bardiani CSF. Who the heck is this
Doped.
guy? He got 6th place.
Doped.
He even beat
I know.
Steve
He might not be.
Mordello. Also,
He
like,
did something in like a bunch of continental stage races earlier
but Bardiani
in the
did
year.
good. Like, also, who's the other guy that crashed with Nicky Sorensen? I believe it was like Baggiola or something like that. Not quite sure what it's... Battaglia, Enrico Battaglia, who crashed in the final
Yep.
corner. He also did pretty good in the stage. I was pretty surprised by Bardiani. I gotta say, that's the team that surprised me the most in Milan San Remo. A team that gets a wild card and they do that good. You know,
Yeah, they did really great.
are they in
It's
the...
almost
Are
like
they in the
they were
Shiro?
preparing in
Oh,
very
they
different ways for this race.
Are they in the
oh they would
Shiro?
be preparing.
Are they in the Shiro
Uh,
Probably,
Casino?
yeah, they were in the Giro last year.
I
They
want to
were.
see what
They
they can
used to be
do.
Colnago. They had Pozzovivo
Oh,
and stuff.
oh, I see. They're gonna win the stage. They're gonna win the stage in the Shiro this year. But yeah, the Milan San Remo. Well, the next classic came up after that. Well, not a classic, but the next big race was the first one to start them all, which was the Devasto Flandern, and everyone's like, "So, on Velo Games, Sagan is not a good choice. I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna put in Cancellara instead." Didn't have any influence in Devasto Flandern, but next stage it did. But Niki Terpstra beating everyone else in Devasto Flandern. I mean, the final attack in the final kilometer, he had like what 30 seconds on the peloton when he won. Yeah, he had 17 when he won, but he had 30 seconds at one point. This guy is a machine. But I also want to point out that Sean Pirret Drucker got fourth place from Vanti Gobert. These continental teams are dominating, or at least they're getting up there. What do you guys think about Devasto Flandern?
is I didn't watch the stage, but I saw a lot of the final kilometers and all that, and it looked like it was interesting to me that Nicky Terpstra got away and he stayed away. That really shows how strong he is. He was in there for Roubaix last year, and I can't remember, did he finish third or something? He did pretty well in Roubaix last year. I don't For Omega to be doing really well, I see him as a super domestique. I don't see him like having a chance to win the big races, but him getting a real shot at a leadership shows he's actually some sort of potential. And when you think of Omega, you automatically think of your Tom Bonan, who's going to be your main guy. So we gotta know that Tom Bonan didn't really do much this stage. He just sat with a bunch and he let someone else row, which was really nice to see. Also, Barut Bozic came third, so he's been consistent the last couple classics as well. So, what do you guys think about this stage? Because I didn't really watch it that much.
I know
So,
Baseball Lover has one guy in particular he was surprised with, or at least proud of.
Yeah. I was actually very surprised and proud. Well, yeah, Terpstra.
Yeah, well,
Was it Tyler Farah? Who was the one person that said I know that guy's gonna do well? Who said that? Me.
who didn't pick him on the Velo Games
I
team?
said that.
You.
He's well. I said it. So he got second. He won the bunch sprint. Damn it, Terpstra. He was a Terpstra away from winning.
He was a Derpstra away from winning.
But
One Derpstra too
he was a
much, and it all
Terpstra.
goes wrong. Well, I gotta
But
say that
no,
the
he was great.
Wadstorf Flandern was really the first ever cobblestone I had to watch because I've never had much time to watch Cobblestone's Classic. I've been too busy with football and other stuff, and gotta say I was surprised. I was positively surprised. And with the next race, E3 Heilbrig, I was even more surprised. Oh my god, was that the Nockenberg or something like that in the final kilometers or the final cobble section? The Geraint Thomas tore that up. Like, what do you guys think of E3 Heilbrig and Peter Sagan winning it?
this was a hell of a race. It was awesome. For those who watched that, you understand how good this race was. Like we saw everything. When we saw that cobbled section, Sagan got dropped, and I know that Failed was pumping out videos on the cycling cup. Sagan gets dropped. It was pretty funny. And you guys didn't know that Fabian Cancellara was involved in the sort of mechanical, and he got caught behind as well. So that really hampered his chances.
Can we just take a second to just restart the Skype call because it's getting kind of laggy? Let's just take 1 second to restart the Skype call. And it's all fixed and we're straight back into it, so go on with your train of thought.
Yeah, so Milan E3 Harrelbeck. So when Geraint Thomas he put this crazy pace on that cobble section. So I didn't really see him have that legs to do that. That was very surprising. Another surprise was John Degenkolb. He was amazing on that stage. Like he was doing a lot of the work. He was at the front group, and then I think he got caught behind from a crash or something. So he it was basically Sagan got his way back into that small group with Geraint Thomas, Terpstra, and Vandenberg. And that was pretty much it. Like they pretty much time trialed their way across, and Sagan did heaps of the work. I was surprised that Amiga wasn't pacing more. It was basically those four riders versus Cancellara, because as always, no one likes helping Cancellara. And Cancellara and was it the Volder were doing so much work that stage. What do you guys mean? Do you guys think that more riders should have been helping Cancellara, because he really got
No.
no help?
No.
Why would they like? I think most of those guys are
No,
happy
no
with their
reason to help
place.
him. Yeah. Like one thing that I noticed is how big a defining move can be. Like when Thomas attacked, everyone's trying to go after him. Sagan just manages to get on there right at the end before it slips away. You see these moves. You're within a 50 meters of these guys. You take that. Do you take that chance and waste energy, or do you not take that chance? That group ends up getting, you know, 2K on you, and you had them right in your sights. Like GVA, Greg Van Avermaet. He followed Sagan, but he was just a bit behind, and he was like literally a length or two away from just being in the slipstream. Didn't
Yeah.
make it, sat up, loses.
The,
Like he could have been in that group. It changes absolutely everything. That's a huge thing. Another thing, Farah, again, top 10. Nice.
Definitely. Well, I think that I want to say that Nicky Terpstra has just proven that he might be worth giving the leadership on Omega Pharma Quickstep in the classics, because winning the Vasco Flanders and then getting second place 2 days after that. Oh my God, that's rough.
Well, also Tom Bonen's thumb was like broken.
Well, still,
Yeah.
so what? They also had Shin Vandenberg out there. They could have just gone for Shin Vandenberg if he was a stronger guy, but he wasn't. So I want to say that Omega Pharma Quickstep is actually disappointed. I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
They had two guys in the top 5, but they had two guys in the top 5, and
you
none of
expect
them got the
you
win.
expect Tom Bone to win. I mean, I don't. It doesn't feel the same when Nicky Terpstra wins. I feel like it's.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see where you're
a
coming from.
victory is a
It
victory.
still seems like an
but-
outsider. It
Yeah,
was just a race of
exactly.
the outsiders.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like it's actually a favorite, but saying I am the strongest, I'm gonna win everything. I don't think that Tom Bone is gonna win like Paris-Roubaix with the showing he has shown so far. I think Nicky Terpstra is a safer bet actually, because he's just that strong and in form. Very exciting. I guess there's not much more to talk about the classics. There's one other race, a World Tour race going on right now. It's the Volta a Catalunya, which is the first showdown between Froome and Contador, actually also Rodriguez and Nairo Quintana. And it's been pretty close in the mountains. There was one stage where it was so foggy you couldn't see anything, and TJ Van Garderen won. There's been 3 stages where Luka Meškec won. He's really showing his dominance. And then there is a stage where Rodriguez won. So how do you guys feel about this like pre-Tour de France matchup? Do you think we have to put any weight into these results in the mountains? Why not?
It's far too early, I think. I mean, for Giro, it's definitely something, because the Giro contenders have to start getting informed now, and maybe Richie Port saying he might even pull out because he can't finish a race. I wonder why. Sergio Henao,
Sick.
cough cough. Yeah, it's just I don't think you can put weight in it yet. Like you can kind of see, maybe how young guys are developing or something. You can't really put weight in unless somebody puts in a great performance, like TVG did. What a great ride, him and Bardet, I believe.
Yeah, the final 100 meters
Yeah.
you could definitely see. That was very exciting. The rest you
Yeah,
couldn't see anything.
they rode away. They caught the favorites. That's the kind of thing they need to put into the PCM. Like the favorites are looking at each other. Nobody wants to attack. Instead of in the game, another thing is the Mountain AI got a little better in PCM 13, but there were so many bugs that went with it. Like, yes, people attack on the mountains, and yes, it can work sometimes. But what happens is one rider attacks, everybody attacks. They just forget their team, everyone sits up.
True.
And they should add things like a TVG goes away. and Bardet follows, and everybody else looks at each other, and yet they keep riding at a decent pace, and then somebody else attacks, and the other guys decide to step up the pace to get him. That kind of thing. And that's why I was very impressed with Van Garderen, though, because after a dismal year last year, really confident to see him winning, and I think that was his first World Tour stage ever.
Really? Congratulations to him.
No, he won one at Oman, didn't he?
Oman's our World
World Tour race.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, yeah. Actually, I want to say, you were speaking about the Tour Italia. It was rumored that Rodriguez was going to do that, right? I think it was.
I've never heard that rumor. I thought he was going for the Tour this year again.
Might have been, but Nairo Quintana was definitely going to the Tour Italia.
Yeah.
And he hasn't proven much in this race so far.
Exactly.
So
he's been lackluster. We were expecting him, when we saw that Froome was not at up to par, we were expecting him to just blow it away. He's so far this season, and it's getting close to the point where, obviously not peaking yet, but you got to start building form for the Giro at this point to make sure that you're in rhythm. You're not fatigued, but you're in rhythm. You got race days in your legs, and Quintana, I'm not too confident with him right now. It's certainly getting easier with Port saying that he might not even ride it.
It's gonna
Perhaps
be a lackluster Giro if Port's not riding.
According to Pro Cycling Stats, Rodriguez is also riding, but
yeah,
they're not very good with this because they also say that Farah isn't, and he's been confirmed there. So
okay, but if Port doesn't go, that's gonna be the worst Grand Tour ever. Who can challenge Quintana?
If Rodriguez goes, I hope Rodriguez goes. He could challenge.
As I look at the start list, I can't really think of anyone else. Who can?
Cadel Evans.
Uran?
Nah.
Iran could.
He was very good at the Giro last year.
Yeah, but what race is he in right now? He was in some sort of... He's in the Catalunya, I believe. And he hasn't done much either.
He was working in... what was it? Tirreno? Or he was working for Quiedic. That's why he was not doing very well.
Oh, I see.
Roach for the Giro. Good.
Well, I believe I heard somewhere that Rodriguez was going. And that is just showing that it's going to be a nice little battle between Rodriguez and Quintana. And they both really suck at time trials. Or, at least Quintana used to. He's becoming really good at it.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. I like Catalunya is such a race that's it's hit and miss. Because you're bringing so many big names to the race. You have so high hopes. You're like, oh my god, it's going to be Clash of the Titans. That's actually a good movie. But it's going to be, oh my god, it's going to be Froome versus Contador versus Quintana versus Rodriguez versus Uran.
But sometimes that outsider just gets it. Like last year. I remember a certain outsider one. What was his name?
Oh yeah, it was
no, Dan Martin. Dan Martin, yeah.
That was Roach?
No, Daniel Martin, I think his name was. Garmin rider.
Irisar, I get it now.
No, yeah. yeah, but Dan Martin, that's the kind of thing. That's exactly what I was talking about. I should use this as my example with the freaking PCM outsiders. He attacked. He was in a morning break, right? He had 5 teammates, and he just kind of sat put, and then the break was about to get caught. They were 20 seconds or something. He attacked. Gets a minute and a half. It slowly gets dragged back in, but he manages to win it with 34 seconds, I think. And that's the kind of realistic outsider winning, not like Dan Martin was with Contador and accelerated away. He's not that type of rider. I'll openly admit that. This isn't the Ardennes.
Yes,
also, the Catalunya is one of the oldest stage races going around. I think it's the second oldest going around, so that's pretty cool. Nice to see him keep this race going. It hasn't been that bad. We saw that stage where Rodriguez won. That was pretty entertaining to me.
Fuglsang. Anyone see how they misspelled his name, by the way, in one of the stages?
Fuglsang.
Fuglsang. Fuglsang.
I think it was Fuglsang.
Yeah, it was something they misspelled it, and also the commentators tried to go with it, so they tried to say whatever was on the screen. It was Fuglsang. Oh my god, it's so bad.
The way the big names ride this stage, however, is also different. I don't think you'll normally see Froome attack like that. Froome could have won that stage, but I think he chose to play around with his tactics a bit and test his body up, because he could have easily won that, but he went on the attack really early on and got countered by Rodriguez, and this Rodriguez has tore that up pretty much. So yeah, Froome don't get me wrong, Froome can still, I think, is in some decent shape. He's not as bad as everyone think he is. So
It's true.
Hmm.
Well, on the closing rope, is there any other topics you want to discuss before we quit today's episode?
I would like to do a quick prediction for Ghent Wevelgem.
Okay, if we probably did one before, I don't even remember what we said, but go for it.
I remember it. Yeah. Okay. So, it's a fairly flat classic. You know, it's basically second sprinter's classic to maybe Shelderprees. You got some cobbles, but it's pretty flat. The cobbles, not as many hills. They're pretty early on the race. At least that's how it used to be in other years. I don't really know the route this year, and I'm not going to look it up now. I would look at sprinters, guys like Sagan, Kristoff, guys who have won classics this year, but also Brett Bosic has been absolutely amazing so far in this. He got third in Dwarsdorf-Lunderen, and he was seventh in that's first in the bunch sprint in E3. So he's definitely a favorite in this type of race, I think. Also, you got Van Avermaet. He said that he's on great form. He's a guy who can get over those hills and cobbles easily. Maybe not he's a top sprinter, but he's still pretty good. So he's definitely a guy to look out for. You got the standard Omega guys. You can never count them out because every single guy on their team is capable of winning a World Tour cobbles race. Um, Other than that, Matty Breschel obviously
Cancellara
going to win.
Cancellara never has had a really good record here, so that's
Yeah.
a warning for you guys out there who make fantasy teams. Maybe remove him if you guys have
Yeah,
him.
True.
this is not the kind of race that really suits Cancellara. He really needs a lot of cobbles, a lot of tough things, something where he can separate himself from the guys like Sagan who can sprint and ride over the cobbles decently.
I just
Of
want to point
course,
out that this is recorded a day in advance, so we don't know the
yeah,
results. This is going up like mid-stage, so we don't know anything that's going on.
yeah. Um, Finally, I have to point out Tyler Farrar. Amazing performance for me to think that he could make it over the hills in E3. E3 is considered more of a mini Ronde van Vlaanderen, and Gent Wevelgem is much less demanding than that. So, to me, I think he's definitely a candidate, and most of the people on Daily are actually agreeing with me for a top five. I don't really know if he can win. I've bet on him, put him on my Vela Games team, but that's just because his odds were so, bad.
Imagine if he crashes it out now.
Yeah, I mean it's very possible, but he has a lot of. If they go for him, which I assume they will now, he has a lot of support with guys like Nuyens, Van Summeren, Paris-Roubaix winner, Langeveld. Guys that can really put the hurt on in some of these northern classics. So, it's a very open race, but I do want to, you'll see how it goes out. Luca Paolini is going to be an amazing teammate for Christoph, just like he was in Milan-San Remo. And I literally can't wait for tomorrow morning. So, yeah,
I'm telling you right now, Moreno Hovland could be a sneaky. He could do something. I said that in the
I agree.
prediction before. Watch out for Moreno Hovland. He's going to be something.
You know what? I'm gonna say something completely out of the book. I'm gonna say Terpstra.
Wait a minute,
Probably not
Moreno
even-
Hoffland. I
probably
have the start list up. He's not on it.
Is Terpstra
Oh,
even on
what?
it? Wait, is Terpstra on it? Is Terpstra on it?
Nope.
Terpstra's gonna win it.
Yep.
On that note, guys, I think we're gonna round up today's episode of the Weekly Rant. I want to hear if you actually stayed to the finish. Put your name in the comment section below. That's one hell of an achievement. You can now go out and buy a shirt saying I survived 1.5 hours of the Weekly Rant with failure, TheChudude, and Bob Bobson. Very exciting. Thank you guys for watching. Go check out Baseball Lovers channel and TheChudude's channel. They both do amazing content. It's not only on my channel they do content, but they also have their own private channels. They need to grow also. So, thank you guys for being on here. Any final words?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.